Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing some good old fashioned rogue mage. I still have sinuses, I'm still kind of sick, so we're going to go with it and do what we got to do. That being said, feral priest versus rogue mage. Now lately rogue mage has been really bad, I'm not going to lie. We have been losing to DKs mainly, hunters. It's kind of just the meta. They're really strong right now, and considering rogue mage, you only really survive 2 goes. That's really all you got. You got 2 goes, and then you pretty much lose. So usually when we face a stealthy, we'll literally wait. So we'll wait for the pharaoh to come out, and then my rogue will either sap the priest or he'll blind the priest, depending on um, where he is. So we'll see if we can get the pharaoh out. Usually I'll just use some AoE to see if I can randomly get him out. Sometimes my feral, or sometimes the rogue gets him out, sometimes the feral gets him out. So here we just DB him. He actually trinkets the DB just to do more damage. My guy ends up almost dying in a DR stun. Thankfully he ends up getting cheat death procced. And here we do our opener. So he blinds, we stun, we get PS. I'm going to sheep off of it, so I sheep him. And then I'm going to ice wall. So we get a really good ice wall. At the end of it, we're going to ring it as well. So we ring on top of it. My ring bugged out and it actually didn't even go off, so I don't know what happened to it. I guess it just didn't want to go off today, but it used my CDs for some reason. So that was pretty much our go. So we got double trinket and we got PS. So at this point now we run away. Never just stand on top of the enemy team when your go is done. The only time you should ever be in there is when you're going. So right now this is like our last go. So my guy needs to tricks me, and at this point we just do big damn. I don't even think he has tricks this go, but we kill him regardless. My guy is running tricks. Tricks of the trade. A lot of the times I'll have to tell him to click it. So every go I'll tell him to click it, even if he doesn't have it. So he's getting used to it. But we ended up getting the W, and we ended off at around 1870, 1880. We got all the way up to like 19 something, but it can be very difficult. So here we sap the DH, we swap the sap to the priest, we open on the DH here, so a really, really good opener for us. We're gonna re-sheep off the sap, and then off this, we're gonna ice wall. So we're gonna ice wall when we can. Ice wall now. I don't know if Ice Wall reflects when he's up in the air though, because I don't really know. I don't think so, so no it doesn't. He can still heal over the Ice Wall. That being said, he still has to run around it. My guy can cheap shot or blind him, so if he blinds him and then off that he can stun him. So this guy ends up surviving. We get a really good restun though, and now I kick the priest. The game's pretty much over at this point. It was very close for them, but obviously my Grog, instead of just cheaping the DH, he should have immediately stunned the priest. The priest was off DR, and that was the only thing that needed to be different. Because imagine if he cheap shotted the priest and then the DH, and we got full CC. There was no chance of him surviving. So that was the only mistake that we did right there. Otherwise, the opener was pretty much peak. So the next game here, DKs. DKs are, after their buff, are insanely strong. One of the strongest specs in the game now. They just do unhealable damage, and it's a crazy amount of damage. So here we get a really good opener. Unfortunately, you're usually not going to get trinkets in the opener. Not anymore. Not with Icebound being really broken at the moment. Because AMS on top of Iceborne on top of AMZ, as you can see, I literally almost die in less than a 3 second silence from 100%. That's it, and that's from one person. So it's not me and my teammate can't even do that to somebody while he can. So here we had the block on top of our altar just because we had silence at 100% EP. That being said, we're gonna get ready to go. Pretty much once the sheep DR and the stun DR is off, we can go. So we cheap shots the Mistweaver, and then we're gonna ice wall. He ends up orbing. So at this point, we're just gonna run. So we're just gonna sheep the DK pretty much. So anytime your goes are done, you're just sheeping the DK and you're running. Because all we have to do now is get his trinket. That's all we need. So here we line, and now we're just AFKing. We still have another block. My guy has 0 CD, so his goal is to get out of here. But we're going to go here soon. I'm going to knock him apart first, just like that, and now we open on him. So we get a full sheep. We get a really good opener here. At this point, my guy can tricks or whatever he has to do. At this point, we re-sheep, and he needs to die right here. So we end up taking him out just in time. So it was very close. Still a close game. And my guy still had blind. So again, off that sheep, he could have blinded. And those are the CC that he needs to see. Because imagine if we get blinded off, it would have been total overkill. More than it already was. Hunter Priest, same thing as you would a Feral Priest, or any stealthy. You wait until they come out of stealth, try to sap the Priest, or blind the Priest, then we open on the Hunter with the bomb. Pretty much your goal is to try to get 2 trinkets in the opener, That's pretty much it. Once you get double trinket and pet sack, the game's pretty much over for them. However, it's getting those cooldowns without dying. Because BM hunters, this is a hard counter for us. Any hunter and priest should automatically destroy rogue mage. It's been like that for 20 years now. It's been the same thing every time, even as holy priest. So here I get the hunter out. We get a really good sap. He's across the map, which is really insane for us because now we get auto trinket. At this point, we're gonna resheep the priest, and then we're gonna ice wall. So that just allows us more damage on this guy before the priest can even get there. So we get turtle. So because of the ice wall, we get turtle, we get trinket. We don't get anything from the priest, but now we can blind on the next setup. So at this point, we frost over the pets. We're probably gonna ring the pets. Anytime I have the chance, I try to ring the pets because you know that's all their damage. So here we ring and then we knock them. So we knock all the pets away. At this point, we can DB and my guy just cheeps, and we get a really good setup here. So he's probably gonna trinket, so my guy can blind him immediately. He runs into my ring. So at this point, I end up at this point we should have blinded. That's what we should have done. But now we win the next game. Because I still have double block, he has vanished. The game's pretty much over. Even if he doesn't blind off that, the game's pretty much over no matter what. It should be over. I still have 2 blocks. I have alter time. At this point, we just need to frost over the pets and wait it out. So we DB. At this point, we cheap shot and the game's over. So we just do big damn. Normally, again, a lot of these games I've been saying tricks and stuff, so he's doing it. But as you can see, we end up taking him out. And one more thing. Gapping your stuns is one of the worst case scenarios in a lot of these situations for this rogue. We have lost a lot of games because of the gap. Because it allowed the hunter to feign death at the end there instead of just finishing the kill. We have a really bad habit of not re-stunning the target when we need to. Even if it's only a second. A second is all we need to kill somebody from 10% to 0%. So always focus restuns over damage any day of the week. It's always important. Because the moment they're out of that stun, they're gonna click a CD 100 times out of 100. So here, same thing. We're going feral. We wait for the feral to open. These are really hard comps for us. So the ones that we're winning are actually really hard. So we end up getting the feral out. He's pre-bear, but he's in a really bad position. If you look where he is, he's across the map. Unfortunately, druids and bear form are really tanky. Thankfully, we get trinket regardless. So here we resheep his trinket. Or we resheep the priest. At this point, we blind, so really good blind. We keep the go going, good restun. Even if it's DR, it's fine. Now at this point, we can cheap shot the priest and swap priest. However, if we don't do it fast enough, there's no point. So we didn't do it fast enough, and that was just all it was. So now we just run away. We have every CD pretty much. Now I'm just gonna use my wall. I'm gonna blink back. At this point, we're delaying the inevitable. We're waiting for the DR. So here in about 1 second, we can do our go. So the moment this rogue, I think I'm waiting for a shadow dance right now. So we're just waiting it out. And then my guy's going to get ready to open here. So I'm going to DB. He needs a cheap shot. Good. Nice. Perfect setup. Now we just tricks and do big damn. And now I'm going to ice wall on top of this. So I'm going to... Nice. Perfect. So just very, very good game by my rogue there. So that's pretty much all it is. That's really all it is. The only thing he did wrong there is not cheap shotting the priest the moment he live swaps. That's it. Because obviously, if he cheap shots the priest, we get trinket right there, or we might even be able to kill him, or we get PS. We get more CDs. The goal is again. So this is a very hard matchup. We honestly actually outplayed these guys really hard, and we ended up almost paying for it just because of a stun. So here we do a good opener here. The main goal is to go druid, but we're swapping. So druid's out. We're gonna kick him. We're gonna go druid. The ret has bop. I'm gonna sheep him, and then we're gonna go the druid here. So we go druid here. He instantly tree forms. I don't even know that you could do that. I didn't even know you could instantly tree form like that. I thought you had to cast it. I've always seen people cast it, but maybe there's like, maybe you're able to NS do it or something. Maybe there's like a new ability that I don't know about. I didn't know you could instantly do it. For some reason, knock is bugged on this map for mages. I've been trying to knock, you'll see during this game, I've been trying to knock the druid and it never knocks him off. It like bugs him on the map, and you'll see during the game. So here we get a really good cheap setup here. So we do big damn. At this point, we want to get bubble. We're gonna ice wall on top of that. We're gonna break the ice wall or just leave it, just so we can't do anything. At this point, we need to run. We need one more go on the rat paladin. He has no trinket. He has nothing. So if we get one more solid go with a stun. So at this point, we need to go here in about 3 seconds. So once the sheep DR's off, we have to go. So right now, we need to stun and then do 2 stuns immediately. Unfortunately, we don't stun the ret, which allows the ret to kill my guy. At this point, it's up to me to kill this guy. So here, I'm focusing on CC and killing. So I kill this guy, it's a 1v1. Our goal is to delay the inevitable. Same thing. Survive as long as possible. And you'll see during this game, the one thing I hate about Mage is running these shields. I only get the shield for like 3 seconds. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, I wish people didn't run it, because I hate it. 3 second shield is useless. Even if you get a wall with it, it's like, it just doesn't help at all. Like, the shield was just overall going to be better. But that being said, the goal is to just hold block as long as possible, think that he has the game won, so he uses cooldowns to try to kill me. And again, I try to knock him here, doesn't get knocked. Now, he wasn't my frost, you know, frozen stuff, so that's valid, So they can say he was stuck. So at this point, we're trying to just eat and then just keep, we're running. We're literally running the entire game. So here he trinkets my DB. At this point, we re-stealth and then we knock him. Or we try to knock him here in a second. So here, we're trying to sheep him. The reason I tried to sheep is because a lot of people will shift out of form to get out of roots. So here we just block. We're already too low. We're just going to full block. We're playing the long game at this point. We're playing for the win. So, get full HP. We may be able to eat a little bit. The druid's going to probably open with a rake. Usually that's what they do. Yep, there it is. So at this point we can either DB ring or we can just alter and do dams. So we'll see what happens. So here we alter, we do damage here. And while we have alter up, we just do max dam. Just the 4 CDs. Because during the alter, he can't purge me. And I'm also purging his, so I get his healing benefit. So as you can see, I'm stealing some of his healing, even if I'm just to steal his healing. That's what you gotta do to win. So here, we're doing big damage. We're never letting him hit us. Our goal is to not let him hit us, even if we're not attacked. Because he's 100%. While he's in Bear Form, he's not gonna die. I knock him, the knock didn't work. The knock literally just knocked him to the... I don't even know what knock, I don't even know what that was. So here we DB sheep. This is where, again, perfect opportunity to drink. Or technically eat. So we get a lot of eating off this. And look, even when he gets here, he still waits like 2 seconds to hit me, like right here. So for some reason, he let me get an extra 2 ticks off. At this point, the game's pretty much over for them, I'm not gonna lie. By the time he gets me low again, I'm already gonna have a block. So here, our knock finally works, we get a full knock, and now we just keep running. Again, we're running constantly. As long as we don't ever let him hit us, we're gonna win. This is kind of how you 1v1 a healer. This is how you have to play. Because healers are so strong. Now, if he just sat in cat form and he were to just attack me, now at this point we're gonna eat and we're gonna bait him. It almost bugged out. You'll see here that I actually attacked him and his res was still going on. So it almost lost the game. And you'll see here, I eat for a second before I break it. Because there's no point in breaking it. It's gonna break regardless. So now I blink and it doesn't break. That was just crazy. So my flurry doesn't break, you know, res. Isn't that kind of wild that he almost got the res off in my face while I'm attacking him? So they almost would have won off that, just because flurry doesn't... I don't know what happened there. I guess flurry doesn't do damage. But regardless, I ended up using an ice lance to get it working. So now I know not to use flurry and only use ice lance to break reses, because otherwise. So here we knock him again, and it's probably because my freeze stuff. But at the same time, I see Ellie having me frozen, and I still get knocked. It may not be, because it's not like the druid's literally frozen in place. He's just slowed. So I don't understand why he's not being knocked across the map like every other Ellie or every other... But everybody else does it. When I'm slowed, I get knocked across the map. But at this point, yeah, the game's pretty much over for them. There's nothing they can really do at this point. Because I have double block coming back up. They had to win when I was low HP after the first block at the end of the game. Or they needed the ret to survive. Now obviously, if my rogue got the stun, it was lights out easily, because then he could have run or he could have just stunned the druid. But it was GG's regardless. It was close. Rest of the druids are really hard for us, because you have to go the druid to win. You cannot. It's very rare that you don't go the druid at all and you'll win. You at least have to go them on goes, just like me and that rogue did. You have to do somewhat goes on them. Here we have to go druid. Mage is not gonna die. We have 2 or 3 goes max. So we open the mage here. We burst him down. And then we immediately swap to the druid. Now our target is the druid. Unfortunately, he kicks me. That was a big mistake by me. I should have never even bothered casting it. That allowed him not to drink it. That was a big mistake. I honestly didn't. I wasn't expecting to get kicked on like just pure damage. Usually they kick on like sheeps and stuff. But regardless, we end up getting skin from him, so it's something. It's better than nothing. Now we're going to get ready to go here in about 2 seconds. So here I DB sheep. We stun him. He pre-bears forms it. And then we break my sheep. So again, I think it was just more of a miscommunication on his part, where he didn't know who we were actually going. Thankfully, we still got the mage trinket. So now we just have to just bide time until we can go druid again. And he ironbarks air. So another misplay by the druid here, which is honestly going to benefit us more than he knows right now. Because even if he trinkets, so our goal is to get this guy out of form. If he bears form, we'll never kill him. So here we can do our cheap shot setup. I can DB if I need to. We'll see what happens here. So he had nice. We had a really good setup. We tricks. We do big damage. He trinkets, and we're just gonna sheep the healer or sheep the mage and just keep pumping. And then he dies. So then I ice wall, so his mage can't heal, and the game is over. That's really all it takes, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments. I'm going to be doing an assassination rogue guide and an outlaw rogue guide soon. So let me know which one you guys want to see first. It's been X. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.